Hello, this is Greg from SharePoint Maven, and in this video I would like to show you and explain to you several different ways that you can brand SharePoint and Microsoft 365. Now, I'll be honest, kind of upfront, SharePoint is not famous for its branding capabilities. At the moment, they're kind of limited, but I will still show you a few places where you can brand, SharePoint for the most part, and in some scenarios, the overall Microsoft 365 ecosystem. As I record this video, Microsoft just kind of released the Brand Center. It is new functionality that we will have pretty soon that will allow us to brand additional aspects, and you will be able to customize, for example, the font and font sizes within SharePoint. So I will probably record another video at that point when that feature is generally available. But for now, I will show you just a few options that we have as of now when it comes to branding our SharePoint and Microsoft 365 out of the box. So the first place where you can apply some branding, company branding and style would be the site theme. So here's a use case. I created this marketing site, and obviously this is what it looks like out of the box. It's just a basic site template that I chose. And so the first place would be to customize the site theme according to your brand colors. So to achieve this, you click on gear icon, change the look. You have to be a site owner to do this, and you would click on theme. By default, you have all these different themes to choose from. So this all the themes available out of the box, and you can actually install your custom one. Based on your company, specific primary colors that you have. So you can actually generate a custom theme based on the primary color and the specific, hex number that you have. This is what you see here. Now, this option does require a bit of PowerShell, and I actually have instructions on how to achieve this on my blog, so feel free to check it out, but I will probably record a separate video on that. But for now, let me just maybe choose one of the built-in themes. So hopefully one of the color palettes that you see here will be kind of close enough to to your specific, brand guidelines. Again, if you really want to match 100% in terms of your primary colors and the specific, color that you have, you do need to install that theme. There is no way kind of you can customize it, out of the box with clicks. It's something you actually do and achieve through PowerShell. But for now, let me just choose this particular theme, just one theme that's available out of the box, and I will click Save. And essentially, what theme determines, it determines pretty much the primary color for the site. So remember, I chose red theme, so all the big kind of boxes will be red. And also in a second, I'll show you how to add some color to the header. That color will also be derived from that theme that you have chosen. So the second place where you can, I guess, apply branding, and it's kind of related to the first technique I showed you, but that would be to add some color to the header and footer area. So the header is this top portion right here, which is white at the moment, and the footer is this area at the bottom of the screen. So let me show you how to do that. So once again, we click on the gear icon, change the look, and you would click on the header. And this is what I meant. Remember, we chose the red theme. So these colors over here, different shades, I guess, right? They are derived from that primary color. So if I were to choose maybe a green theme or a blue theme, then you would see, dark green and dark blue in here, and lighter shades, besides it. So in our case, obviously we have a red theme, so I'm going to choose this particular option over here. And as if hopefully you notice that essentially the The header now is the same color as this theme, essentially the primary color that we chose. All right, so and then let's click Save. And just like with the header, we also have the footer. All right. First of all, so by default, the footer is enabled. You did see the footer already, but obviously we can disable it completely. Or if we enable it again, we have the same choices. So maybe I want to go for a little bit lighter version of this particular color. And if I click Save, let's see what we just did. So again, the header is dark red, and then the footer is also here, but at a much lighter variation of the color. The next area where you can apply some of your company branding would obviously be the logos. All right, the site logo. Essentially, I'm talking about this area over here on the top left side of the screen. And how do we achieve this? So let me show you. We can click the gear icon, change the look, and header again. And this is the same area where we, of course, chose the theme, the color of the header. But if we scroll down, this is the logo area. Now, there are two options here, the thumbnail and the site logo. What's the difference? So what you see over here in the upper left, that's the site logo. So essentially, it's a logo you will see by visiting the site. The thumbnail is for situations when let's say, you execute a search and you get a bunch of results, and essentially right next to the site name that you found, there will be a little, I guess, icon, a little image. That's the thumbnail. So in our case, I'm going to upload both. Now, because I have the darker kind of theme here, right, I probably want the logo, maybe in white color, right, that will stand out, but that will contrast with the header. So that's what we're going to do for the site logo. And then for the thumbnail, I will use my regular, logo. So let me demonstrate this to you. So again, let's start with the logo. I'm going to click change. And then, of course, you would need to upload, choose the specific logo. So right here, this is, this is the one that I want to use right here. And just like that, you see, that's what I meant. If I went for a little bit lighter background, right, maybe white or, gray or and so on, right, I would probably choose a different variation of the logo, but I think this is a perfect fit over here. And then for the thumbnail, I want to choose this one, essentially my regular, logo, and click Save. And that's pretty much it. Essentially now the changes are going to be saved, and this is the logo. If I execute a search maybe for this site, then my users will see essentially the site name, and then the real logo, not the white variation, right? The thumbnail. Now, just like with the header logo, we can actually upload a logo into the footer area. Let me show you how to achieve that. Again, gear icon, change the look, and then we click on footer this time. And there is this little area for the logo. So you just pretty much, follow the same steps. You know what? Let's actually let's choose this one this time. And here it is, and click Save. And let's see what it will look like. Just like that, in the lower left-hand corner, the logo will appear. Now, the logo, what's actually interesting is that the logo is not just for kind of visual effect. It actually plays a role as well on a site. Let me show you. Let's say I visited maybe a document library on a site. If I want to go to the home page, I can either click on the site name or the logo. So clicking on the logo returns me to the home page of the site. So it does have a function as well besides, the look and feel. The next area where you can apply branding would be the Microsoft 365 bar. What do I mean by that? That's this bar over here. So you see everything below this line, right? That's a site, right? So as a site owner, I was able to control pretty much everything on the site: the header, the footer, obviously the logo. I'm talking about this bar over here on top. All right, this is the bar that travels with you no matter where you go within Microsoft 365. So I'm in SharePoint now. Let me go to OneDrive, for example. All right, so here is my OneDrive. And look at this, the bar, other than the name change over here, obviously it used to say SharePoint, now it says OneDrive. But if you notice, it's the same color of the bar. It's actually, you get to see my logo over here in the upper left-hand corner. It's the same. If I go to Outlook now, you will see, again, I'm in a completely different application. And look at this. The bar, again, is traveling with me. Same color, same look and feel. Well, guess what? We can actually adjust that, the color of this bar. And we can also change this logo. As a matter of fact, by default, it doesn't have a logo in here. It's something I added manually. And let me actually first explain to you how you can customize this bar, and then I'll explain to you the purpose of this logo. To be able to modify this bar, you do need to be a global admin, not a site owner, not a SharePoint admin. You really have to be a Microsoft 365 global admin. So to achieve this, you go to the Admin Center. Once in the Admin Center, you need to expand this, show all, and then you need to click on Settings, and then Org Settings, and then Organization Profile. And the option you need is this one, Custom Themes. Now, I already configured this, all right? It will look a little bit different, when you initially do this. So the way it works, you have all these different themes. Now, you can actually have several themes. If I'm not mistaken, you can create up to 5 different themes for different group of users. But in our case, let's keep it simple. So you will need to customize the default theme, which I already did, but I'll still show you the steps. So the default theme, you click on it, and I'll come back to this screen. So what you want to customize are these two tabs, logos and colors. Let's start with colors. So this is where you customize it according to your specific brand guidelines. And ironically, remember how on the SharePoint site we couldn't be very specific about the specific, hex color, hex number? Well, here you can. And then in addition to customizing the color of this board, you can customize a few other things. I guess the color of this, text that will appear. Obviously, it's white in my case, so it's in contrast, and then accent color as well. Now, the next tab you want to click on, and again, this is optional, but in my opinion, this for user adoption is super important. You can actually add a logo in here, and you can make it clickable. So why did I add a logo in here? So first of all, I think it looks nice, right? That's your company brand. But you can also add, a URL here. So when users click on the logo, they will essentially be, rerouted to that specific, redirected to that specific URL. And in my case, it's a URL of my home internet. And the reason I did this is so that if users, let's say, are in OneDrive, right, or checking their email in Outlook, when they click on the logo, it brings them to the internet. So it's, in my opinion, it plays a nice function. So again, and the way you do it here, it's pretty straightforward. You upload essentially a logo, which I already did, and essentially set the URL and click save. It does take some time. It's not going to be immediate. I think it may take up to 24 hours for it to take effect, but essentially, eventually it will, eventually the theme and the the color and the logo will appear on all different applications within Microsoft 365, Outlook, SharePoint, OneDrive, and so on. And then finally, I forget what the default is here, but essentially you might want to check this box over here. And if you notice, it says prevent users from overriding their theme. You see what happens is that if you leave this box unchecked, the users can actually select their own theme. They can actually change the color just for themselves, and it's not going to be what you set up. If you want to prevent it, you need to check the box. You need to check the box. And that's pretty much it. Once you make all these changes, like I said, it just takes several hours for it to take effect. And eventually you will see the changes propagate to all the applications. Just like I mentioned previously, you can actually create different themes. You see, you can actually target, let's say you have employees in different countries, right? And maybe for North America, right, you want a specific, one color over here, and then more maybe for European employees, right, it has to be a different color, maybe with a different logo or something, all right? You can actually do that. You can actually do that and target it, as you can see, to different security groups. So that's also an option, but by default, there is just one theme that you set up. The next two places you can brand, and maybe that's a little bit of a fancy word because all you can do is just add a logo, but they're kind of related. The first one is this SharePoint App Bar. All right, this SharePoint App Bar, it pretty much travels with you. It's a permanent SharePoint, bar that appears on any site that you have. You see, I'm on a different site. The bar is the bar is here as well. But essentially, this is where you can access recent, sites and lists and news and files and so on. Now, by default, it displays this home icon. You can actually, when you click on it, you will see the navigation menu and so on for your home site. You can actually change this to your company logo or any icon that you have. Now, this has to be set up on a home site. A home site is kind of the main site of your tenant, if you will, right? That's where you publish all the news and announcements, and essentially it's the most authoritative, site that you have in your tenant. And this happens to be, in my case, this particular site is the home site. You actually have to register it as a home site in Admin Center, which I already did. But once you do, you click the gear icon and you click on global navigation. Again, you're only going to see this option on a home site, all right? This is not an option you will see on any other site. If it's a communication site or if you register that site as a hub site, that's not going to be the case. You have to register your site as a home site. And I actually published a few videos on that on my channel, so feel free to check it out. But I already did in this particular case. And again, if you want to change this home icon, you can actually do it over here, just like that. And if I'm not mistaken, it has to be a specific size. I think if you try to upload it and it complains about the size, it has to be certain number of pixels and so on. But I think it will tell you in the message what it has to be. But once you upload that icon, essentially it will replace that home icon over here. The other location, which is actually kind of related to what I just explained to you with the SharePoint App Bar, is the Viva Connections icon. All right, what do I mean by Viva Connections? This is something that I actually find quite useful from user adoption standpoint. So remember that intranet that I just showed you? So this is your home site, this is your main site with news, announcements, links, and so on. What you can do is bring in the intranet inside of Microsoft Teams. So this is my, of course, Teams app with all the different teams I'm part of. But if you notice on the left-hand side, I have this intranet icon with my company logo. And when I click on it, I get to see the same intranet home site that I just showed you. Now, there are quite a few steps involved in terms of setting this up and making this internet available in Teams. I do have information on my blog, so feel free to check it out. How did I update this icon? All right, so how did I update this icon? Let me show you. And again, I'll probably be, pretty brief in this particular video. There are several steps involved in terms of, the whole Viva Connections setup. So if that's of interest on how to set this up, I do have instructions on my blog. But let me show you how to customize this logo for your internet within the Teams application. So for that, we need to navigate to the Admin Center again. This time, we are going to go to Teams Admin Center. Once in Teams Admin Center, you want to click on Teams Apps and then Manage Apps. Now, in my case, I already set this up. So the application is actually called Viva Connections, but in my case, I renamed it to Intranet, just like that. Here we go. And you click on the app, and let's see, we need to customize it. This is where you customize it, you see? So this is by default. It actually has a built-in, icon, default icon for Viva Connections, and you can leave it like that. But if you want to brand it and have your essentially your own logo, again, you upload it in here, and essentially, yeah, it even tells you what is the size of the logo. It has to be PNG format, 32 by 32 pixels, and once everything is set up in terms of the home site and Viva Connections, this is what you get to see, essentially, that logo, clickable logo within the Teams application. And when you click on it, you obviously will get to see, the users will get to see the internet embedded in Teams. The final location that we can brand is this login screen. All right. When you're trying to log in to, let's say, SharePoint Site, right, or maybe you're checking email and Outlook, and essentially you are trying to log in to Microsoft 365, you are presented with a screen. And this is what it looks like out of the box. All right, default screen with the Microsoft logo, and this is where you enter your email and password. Well, guess what? We can actually brand it, and let me show you what it will look like when it's all branded. So I'm just going to grab the URL and paste it in here. So I'm trying to log into that site, and because I specifically am logging in not just to office.com, I'm logging in specifically to the SharePoint site. Look at this. Now it's all branded. So I chose this nice image for the background, and then I have my company logo in here on the screen instead of the Microsoft logo. So let me show you how I achieved this. So for that to happen, this is something that once again you need to be either the Microsoft Entra ID admin or a global Microsoft 365 admin. Once inside the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, of course, we need to navigate to Microsoft Entra ID. So you click on Identity. Once inside Entra ID, you need to click on the Show More. So we have more choices available. I believe it's under User Experiences, Company Branding, right here. So you click. And again, I already configured this. So if I'm not mistaken, the first time you might need to add, essentially add branding. So there might be a little bit different button, but I already configured it. But let me click the edit button in here and let me show you what you can configure. There is actually quite a bit you can configure in here. So this is where essentially you upload your logo, which I already did. The background image, which I already did. All right, the page background color, you can customize that. So yeah, there are a few areas you can customize here. And then there are all these different tabs. This has to do more with kind of the look and feel of the sign-in form. And I think it's also important, I think it's actually quite useful. Why? First of all, It's, from branding perspective, right? You're consistent with your brand guidelines. But another thing is when I see this, it kind of reassures me that I'm logging into the right place, right? When I see my company logo, maybe a familiar picture, it does reassure me that I'm logging in. This is not a phishing attempt, right? I'm logging into the right, service, that I need to log in. So that's all I wanted to explain to you in this video. Like I said, there are not that many options to brand, SharePoint and Microsoft 365, but Microsoft is constantly adding new functionalities, new capabilities. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're going to get a brand center soon, which will allow us to do a bit more customization, specifically around the font sizes, and font styles that applicable to your brand. So definitely will record another video when this functionality is available. But for now, thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, happy to see you on my blog, sharepointmaven.com, as well as my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.